Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
Today's video is going to be a little bit depressing for those of you who are sensitive, but it's more of being realistic. You know, my style of coaching, or my style of mentoring, or even my videos. I prefer being realistic rather than optimistic and this like Nas Daily and Jay Shitty shit. And tone away, you can do anything, you can achieve anything. And Jay Shetty will tell you the monk who did this and that. And so I like to keep it real. Like, Nas, what do you think about? And now you have to subscribe to his course. Everyone's out there making money. So, today's video, I'll speak to you about when I had to give up on my dreams. So I've given you already a warning. This video is not going to be more on the positive side. So the question is, when should you give up on your dreams? Okay. I'll give you 3 incidents in my life where I had to give up on my dream. 3. Okay. So the first one was, like all of us, we all have, at least Asians, we have this dream that one day I'll go abroad. You know, this is pre-Google days, pre-Facebook, pre-social media. And we used to always see these Hollywood movies and see the West as, wow, Knight Rider, Airwolf. You know, those are the TV serials. So we used to think, oh, the West. And the whites are intelligent and blonde hair and they are smart. And I want to go there one day. So it was always there in my head. So if you have seen my video about my divorce, my first divorce, I happened to bump into this girl. That was a big story in itself. You can watch that video, what happened. So somehow I landed in Dublin, Ireland. And boy, I thought I'd achieved this, the most, precious dream of mine, to go abroad, to travel abroad, to one day become a Gora, white passport. I landed in Dublin. Looked normal. Dublin, Ireland. It was a village in Clondalkin. Looked around. I was like, hey, the place looks normal. Very cold. But okay, all whites. Everyone is white. So like, just imagine all this. Only thing is, you don't see the clouds and the sun. You just see rain and cloudy, and it's very cold. Initially, I had to wear 3 sweaters, man, 3-4 sweaters. To wear a sweater inside, woolly one, then a shirt, on top of that another sweater. You know, you can feel the chill in your bones. But yeah, I was happy. At least I went abroad. And now, just waiting for my white passport. So happy. At least that was a saving grace. Marriage was not working. Nothing was working. However, given that I married a fraud, a female turned out to be a cheat, a liar. She was a compulsive liar and mentally disturbed or whatever. She was busy torturing me every step of the way. And finally, made the mistake of listening to my mother. She said, come down back to Dubai. At least you'll be a king. And I was going through a very tough time. Mentally, I was completely down. I was in one of the worst phases of my life. Worst. Terrible. If 2011 was the time I tried to commit suicide, that was a different phase. But this one was completely every single day crying. And I made the mistake of listening to my mother and saying, okay, I'll come back. I'll tell you, the day I decided to come back, I booked the ticket. Oof. The most painful day of my life, man. The most painful. I remember reaching the airport. Obviously, I had to fly out. It just dawned on me now I'm traveling back to Dubai. Okay? As I said bye to that, the guy, her brother who left me. It's a nice guy, James Byrne. As I walked, showed my passport, got the ticket. Oof. As I was walking through the duty free, just dawned on me that I was saying goodbye to my life in Dublin, Ireland. I was saying bye to being abroad. And as I was walking, the typical airport where you walk, it's all glossy, marble shining. You can see the lights, you can see duty free, both the sides. I'll tell you, I became like numb. Like my head, you feel like when someone hits you very hard, you become like numb. Just walking like a zombie. It's passing by everything. The strangest thing, I can't even remember. Seriously, I don't remember anything from that point on. I don't remember anything. I don't even remember which seat I sat in. I don't know how I landed in Dubai. All I could remember is saying goodbye to a dream, saying goodbye to what meant a lot to me. My heart just sank, Because I'll tell you the funny thing, when I was leaving Dubai, I said, hey, fuck you, you camel country and all you, this saying Indians and camels. And I didn't say Indians, I said camel country, and I'm going to become a Gora. Came back with a tail between my legs. Oh, it took me, I think, nearly a year, 2 years to get out of that depression. It was terrible. As soon as I landed, I shaved my head off. My mother couldn't bear to see because I just locked myself in my room. It was terrible. And it was then I accepted my dream is over. And I never thought about going abroad ever again. So that was one. The second one, for years and years, I always wanted to be a radio jockey. Okay, I always wanted to be a radio jockey. And if you Google search on YouTube, you'll see, check this guy. His name is Les Brown, Lesbrown. Les Brown was a motivational speaker, and I used to listen to him so many times. And he was a guy who, in US, he was a janitor and he wanted to be a radio jockey. Long story short of his, he gives in his motivational lectures that he was a radio jockey and he tried to be a radio jockey, but he couldn't. He wanted to be, sorry. So he saw this radio station and there was an ad for a radio jockey. Applied, they rejected him. So he said, at least can I work anything? He said, no. At least can I be a janitor? He said, no. So every day he would stand there and wait for the owner. Finally, the owner got fed up and said, okay, you want to work as a janitor, work as a janitor, as a cleaner. Okay. So he used to work there. So he used to always see the radio jockey guy, used to always host the show. One day, this radio jockey guy, apparently, he had a drinking problem. One day he was drinking. As he was drinking, he was drank too much and he was slurring as he was speaking. So the owner of the radio station told him, hey, that guy is drinking. Just stop him from drinking. He said, oh, yes, sir. Just stop him from drinking so that he can at least make the show go well. He said, yes, sir. But after he put the phone down and decided, why should I stop him? Let him get drunk. This is my chance. Owner called him again. He said, the guy stopped drinking. He said, yes, sir, I'm trying, sir. He's saying, make sure that you stop him from drinking. He's becoming worse. Okay, put some music otherwise. Okay, I'll try to get a replacement. Or you call some of the replacement. He told him call some replacements. He said, okay. He wouldn't call anybody. He allowed him to ring. Finally, the owner called him and said, okay, listen, uh, what happened to the replacements? He said, sir, nobody is free. He's saying, this guy, he's completely wasted. Okay, you take over. He said, yes, sir. He said, you take over and don't talk much, but just play some music. He said, okay. He got the drunk guy out. He went in and he gave his lines that he had rehearsed for so many years, and he became a very successful radio jockey. His beginning line itself is amazing. It's a Papa P and this. He went on, became a big hit, and from there he became a very successful radio host. So me getting inspired by such stories. Once again, this was the pre-Google, pre-social media. We used to get tapes and not even MP3s. I think MP3s were there. Cassette deck as to listen to these. So I also was inspired and I also wanted to be a radio jockey. And even though I was working side jobs for 8 years, I tried to be a radio jockey. 8 years. Every single time there was an opening, I'd apply for it. Every time there was an auditioning, I'd go for it. In fact, I'd even copy this guy, stand outside and wait until the owner would come, give them my tapes. They'll throw the tape on my face. Literally beg, even work for free. Sometimes fool other people and go in by hiding and get thrown out. And I did every single thing, even begging, even begging. Finally, you remember I told you about that Dublin incident where I had to give up. It was at that time I had to restart my life. So I thought, okay, I'll try the radio jockey thing. Because I was trying to pull myself together. But my parents said, see, listen, we don't have enough money. You have to, get a job. So I told them, see, listen, let me try this one last time. If I can do it, fine. If I can't do it within these 3 months, I'll give up on this dream forever. They said, fine. You'll not believe, for those of you who stay in UAE would know, we used to stay in Ajman. Ajman to Sharjah, Sharjah to Dubai, Dubai to Media City. I used to take 4 different cabs, 4 different taxis sharing. Those days they were sharing. And it would take me roughly around, I think 2 hours. Because sharing, no? Waiting. It would take me roughly 1.5, 2 hours to reach there with traffic. And they would give me little food because we were short of money. And most of the time I would ask other people for food and all that. So this was City FM those days in Dubai Media City. City FM was very popular. I remember the 2 guys. Station manager name was Chetan and the creative guy was Neeraj. They're both from Mumbai. There were all these other radio jockeys, Abhijit, Gaurav, Gagan Mudgal, Kritika. Those days, I don't know if they are still there or if anyone remembers them. So I got into City FM. They were auditioning, so I gave my name and they had a vacancy for a news reader. Now the problem is, in English FMs, they take only white guys. They would never take me. And my English was not up to the mark, as in my accent was not good. And even today, I'm not ashamed to say that my grammar or the way I speak is not perfect. In fact, it was much more worse. I'm talking about when I was in my 20s. 20s? Yeah, 20s. Somewhere in 20, 25 or what? Yeah, that range, 20 to 25. So, well, there was a vacancy for a newsreader. I couldn't qualify as a radio jockey for a Hindi station because Hindi, you need to know Hindi. I didn't know Hindi. And English, I couldn't go because I was not white. So now I couldn't go anywhere. And UAE had very few stations. They had Dubai FM 92, which was only for whites. And then you had City FM, which was competing. ARY is Pakistani. Okay. Hum FM. Hum FM was Pakistani, and they were the number one. So City FM was more catering to an Indian crowd, Indian first and Pakistani next. So I went there. So they said no for radio jockey. So for news reader, he said, okay, maybe there is hope. So he took me and he said, we'll take you on probation and let's see how does it go. So I joined. Every day I would come there. I would come at, man, you'll not believe I used to come there 4 o'clock or 5 in the morning and nobody was there. And I would stay there until 8 or 9. Whole day. Whole day. Why I would stay there is hoping that I would, brush shoulders with someone, or someone would train me, or someone would see some talent, or someone would, I don't know, something. I remember these guys are busy ragging me, especially this guy Abhijit. I don't know if he's a changed person today, but those days he was a cocky, considered himself a superstar. They used to rag me and tell me, okay, make tea, I used to very happily, I'll make tea, I'll make coffee. And they used to laugh about it. And it's not that they were bad, but, and there was DJ Marwan. Marwan was a good guy, but he wouldn't take advantage of me. He was always nice to me. So I tried for a month and a half. I still working for free. Every week or every 15 days, I would go to Chetan and say, here's my tape. Do you think I'm good? You listen, he say, I'll get back to you. And the writing was on the wall that they didn't want me. Even when they would have meetings, they would never take me. I would sit outside alone. And I should have seen that as a clue that I was not welcome. But I kept quiet. Kept trying, not letting anything to get in the way. I tell you, it was tough because I didn't have money, I didn't have food. I was busy asking other people for food. One day, it was a rather busy day. There are like tables here with computers, and there's a place where you can walk in the center and tables here, and the studio is in the corner. The studio was in the other side of the office. So here where people are sitting and taking down their notes and doing the scripting, the producers for the show. So I saw Chetan sitting there and he was doing something. It must have been a tough day for him or something. I went up to him and I said, do you think now I can come on air and, read the news and try? And like I said, he must have had a bad day. Immediately he shouted, he just screamed, what the fuck? He's saying, are you fucking crazy, and this and that, and went on an expletive and told, you have no talent. You want to hear? You have absolutely no talent. You're useless. Get the fuck out of here. Ooh. For a guy who just went through a divorce and had to give up on a dream of being abroad, and now was literally taking all the courage in the world to rebuild himself, and I just kept quiet. Everyone was looking at me. I quietly walked out. Total silence, huh? Everyone was silent. I walked out. I went down Dubai Media City, and I stood there. I had a phone. I called up my mom and dad and told, please come and collect me. So they're like, okay. I normally would never call them. So they came after, I think, 1.5 hours waiting. And then they came, I sat in the car and they're driving back. And as I was just looking outside. My mother and my stepfather asked me, so you got the job? Because that is the question they used to ask me every day. You got the job? I kept quiet. Just looked outside. I didn't say a word. I think they got the message that I didn't have a job. So I just told them, just drop me near my sister's place, which was in Dubai. I remember getting down there. I went up to my sister's place. And they had all gone to work. So my aunt was there. I went there, I sat quietly in the hall room, and there was a phone. I took the phone, I didn't know who to call. I, I just looked at the phone and then I called my mentor, Mohammad Murad. I called him, and when he said hello, I'll tell you, to this date, I can't forget. He just said, hello, hello, Loy. Yes, he said, hello, Loy, with his baritone voice. Oh, the minute he said that, I burst out crying. Burst out crying. I cried my heart out. I must have cried for 45 minutes. And I'll tell you, my mentor, he just listened. He didn't say a word. Let me cry my heart out. I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed. I told him about my dream. I told him how this guy treated me. 45 minutes. And finally I said, I don't know how the conversation ended. I finally told him, sorry, I cried. He said, no, it's okay, it's okay. And I put the phone down. I remember after a few days, my mentor came and gave me a whole bag full of motivational tapes and CDs and all. And that time he was not even very close to me, but he gave me all this because he didn't want me to lose faith and hope. And that is the first time that I was able to get tapes and CDs for self-improvement. Well, the sad fact was, reality was, I had to say goodbye to that dream. That dream was finished. I had to say bye. Because I promised myself that I would give my level best. I did try again one last time with ARY Digital. You remember I told you Pakistani channel. But over there, they just wanted people to work for free. They would exploit youngsters to work for free. And I used to work there until I used to think there's a career. Until I found out from other people working there, they don't pay salaries at all. Some guys were working 6 months. I was like, this is not the way to survive, man. And that was where I decided, okay, I need to end this. You can't go on forever, man. Yes, people say never give up on a dream, never give up. And, they show you diagrams where this guy is digging and there's a diamond there. But he has turned around and he has given up. But had he dug more, there would be a diamond, all these diamonds. But the other guy below him is still digging. All that sounds good, but you need to be real. See, I wanted to be a radio jockey, film star, movie star, this, that, so many things. Yes, Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks and all that. Oprah Winfrey and yeah, they made it, Samuel Jackson. But what about the rest of the millions of people who didn't? And I had to accept the fact that I don't have the talent. I don't have the skill. I don't have the marketability. Because end of the day, this is all business. It's not charity, And the last one, the last dream of mine. It was, with regards to love. Okay, now I'm married with my wifey and I have a baby. But I'll tell you, at some point, I had to come to terms with myself that I'm never going to get, we all have the perfect image of the perfect female, blonde and big breasted and beautiful and sexy figure and a rich life and happy children and happy family. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing to say about my wife and baby. But I always wanted that because of media. The media's, portrayal of what is a perfect family. You have your family members, you're all singing Christmas carols together, going out as a family, nice house, nice car, great career, working in the corporate world, suit and tie. I never imagined in my wildest dreams I'd have tattoos and all that. Normal Christian life, But given the fact that I was a playboy and I kept having girls after girls after girls, I never found the one I wanted, I never got. And the ones I ended up wanting were always, like they say, good girls want bad boys, and good boys want bad girls. Same was my case. I always wanted the bad girl, the naughty girl, the sexy girl. At some point, I said to myself, "Say, listen, need to stop, man. Stop this." And lo and behold, I decided, whoever comes, you see, even the girl that before my wife, he was the one I wanted to marry. Bad choice. Finally, I got so fed up. I was like, okay, if I find the good girl, finished. I'm going to see all these requirements and all that. And lo and behold, when I started being realistic, I got the wife who can actually tolerate me. And it's not the fault of women. It's me. It's my personality. It's who I am. It's how I am. I'm not a saint. We see in a relationship, every guy, every girl believes they are perfect, they are loving, they are sweet, they are understanding, they are mature. They seldom see faults in themselves. Why are so many people single? Why are so many people single? Is it because the world is imperfect? Is it because everyone's a loser? No. You have certain quirks, you have certain flaws, you have certain personality traits because of which you are single. You can't say, oh, I didn't find the right person. Yeah, you didn't find the right person because you're not realistic with your faults, your plus, your minuses. You're living in la la land and thinking, I want the best. But the best doesn't consider you the best. We are always here. We want someone way above our pay grade. But that person will be like, excuse me. Yes, there are one rare of exceptions where you get an ordinary guy getting an extraordinary female, like this Indian guy who went cycling all the way to Sweden to get the girl of his dream, blonde, rich girl, or yeah, that's YouTuber who was in Dubai who got this German girl, and in normal circumstance, doesn't. These are exceptions to the rule, man. This is not a standard. It's like winning a lottery. And then again, this is just the beginning part of the relationship. We don't know what will happen later. So many couples photograph themselves with videos and show a perfect life. Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, remember? We thought it would last forever. Jeff Bezos and his wife. Bill Gates and his wife. Visible, these were people who we saw on our radar. So for me, at some point I realized, with my personality and my limitations, that is why even today, I don't expect anything from my daughter. Maybe she'll be wonderful. Maybe she'll be an incredibly understanding child. Maybe I'll be a cranky old man. I might be great as a coach. I might be great as mentor and personal brand, this thing. You can't be perfect everywhere, right? Elon Musk may be a visionary, may suck at being a husband, may be a pathetic father. Tom Hanks' son hates him. Why? Are they evil people? No. You can't be perfect everywhere. So for me, the realization was, I have flaws. I have limitations. I'm never going to get what I want. So be realistic, set realistic expectations. And that's where I married a simple girl and have a simple life. See, I'm no one to tell you give up on your dream or chase your dream. Anyone can tell you chase your dream and dare to dream and achieve the impossible and this and that and all that bull. The only thing I will tell you is be realistic. Have a timeline. Give yourself a deadline. Okay, I'll chase my dream. Yes. This is where it ends. You can take the example of Colonel Sanders at the age of 66, he finally did it. But remember, for every Colonel Sanders, there are 6 or 7 billion people who didn't make it. Be realistic, that's all I'll tell you. living in hopes and dreams and la la land is good. In fact, I'll just conclude by telling you this. I get so many requests, CVs, people, profiles, so many who tell me, oh, my dream is to be a film actor, singer, dancer, boxer, MMA fighter, even wrestler. People from Pakistan, Syria, India, Bangladesh, USA, Australia. Oh, you seriously think all of them can achieve? Like, I got this one young boy who wanted to be Sachin Tendulkar, but he stays in Dubai. He just plays for his school team. I told him, no, everyone said, Loy, you're such a horrible person. You let your limiting beliefs affect that child. Yeah, what? He's going to be a Sachin Tendulkar. That was when I was young. Where is he today? Nothing. Yeah, so why didn't he become Sachin Tendulkar? Come on, man. Stop being stupid. I've not yet forgotten that pain of leaving that airport. I've not forgotten the pain of giving up my dream of being a DJ. I've not forgotten the pain of losing the one I loved. But these are painful reminders. For me, you need to be realistic. Like they say, time teaches you lessons. Same way, for me, today, I've learned my lessons through a tough way. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. Agree, disagree. I'd love to hear from you. You guys take care. Chalo, take care.